Hello everyone and welcome. Let's see together what happened on the markets during the week. I am Davide Tagliabue, one of the coaches for the UNGER Academy. Before we start, I invite you to subscribe to our channel to stay updated for the release of new videos. So, let's start with our quick overview on the markets. The most interesting thing to note are the new historical highs on the mini SP 500 and on the Nasdaq. It is interesting to note that the strength of this movement, especially on the mini SP 500, is remarkable. We see here a straight line that rises from the COVID period until today. All this is reflected into the volatility behavior that at the moment is marking its minimum values compared to the last year. It is also possible to notice how the ranges are gradually narrowing and the percentile values of the historical volatility both in short and long term are very low. Moving to the other markets, it is clearly interesting to note the good performance of energy, in particular the RBOB, that is again at the peak of this last period, as well as the crude oil that has recovered this week. Also, the heating oil is close to the peak of the period, and good also the performance of the natural gas that marks a plus 14% this week. We can therefore say that the whole energy sector has shown strength over the past week. As for metals, we see different results, a bit positive and negative. Negative instead the meats, and different returns also for the soft commodities, and completely negative the cereals sector. Bitcoin trend is very interesting because it managed to exceed the, let's say, psychological threshold of 50k, on which there is definitely an important resistance. It seems that we are ready to see maybe a movement that returns to the historical maxims. Moving on the analysis of the implied volatility, we are in complete contango. I remind you that this means that long-term volatility is higher than short-term volatility. This corresponds to normality in financial market and stock indexes. However, it is easy to see that the short-term volatility has remained broadly stable over the last 2 months. Meanwhile, the long-term volatility tends to grow. This could be interpreted as a substantial calm in the next weeks, but as for the long-term trend, there is some doubt about the sustainability of this short trend that we have seen today on the equity indexes. Let's have a look now at the calendar of rollovers. We are approaching the expiry of the main currencies that will then be rolled next week. I also remind you that we are close to the expiry of the European future of BTP, Bund and all others short and medium term German future. Guys, if you are interested in understanding more about our way of doing trading, I'd like to remind you that in the description of this video you can find a link to a free webinar in which we give you an introduction on how to build trading systems and create well-diversified portfolios of automated strategies. This is done by following the method of the 4-time world trading champion Andrea Unger. If you haven't done it yet, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell so that you can stay updated on the release of new videos. See you next time, guys.